Joining us now is a candidate for Jackson City Council to represent the 2nd Ward, Peter Bormuth. Hey, Peter.
Hi, Bart. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Very fine, thank you. Happy Halloween.
Thank you. Happy Halloween to you as well.
It was my favorite holiday when I was a
Really,
kid.
it's my least favorite holiday.
As a kid as well?
I think it's because as a kid, I had some traumatic experiences of rainstorms and lost candy.
Oh.
But I got over it. No, it's fun. It's fun with the kids and the grandkids. All right, week from today, election day, and you're running for office. And you've run for this office or city council before, haven't you?
I ran as a write-in candidate for the Ward 5 against Karen Bonnell because she did not have a challenger. It was a very late decision, made only for that purpose, and I got 1/3 of the votes as a write-in candidate. You know, you never win when you run as a write-in.
So why are you running for this seat?
I'm running because Freddie Dancy has been the council person for the last 8 years, and once again, no one was challenging him this time. And Freddie hasn't really done anything for Ward 2. You look at the east side, it's probably at this point the most neglected part of our city. And so I chose to give him some competition and make him run and defend his record. We haven't had any development on that side. The roads are the worst in town. He personally blocked any marijuana establishments from being located there. I just find Freddie's record difficult to justify. You know, he voted for all the demolitions. Now we have an affordable housing problem. We have a homeless issue in the city. We need some new leadership there is what I believe.
What do you see as the biggest problems the city has?
Our biggest problems that the city has. I would say on the east side right now, roads are one of the biggest problems. And the biggest problem with fixing the roads is a lot of people on the east side can't afford the assessments that come with that when their roads do come up for finally resurfacing or for a complete reconstruction.
How should the city pay for street construction?
Well, I think the assessment process has to be changed. The formula can be adapted so that for single-family homes, the assessment could be cut in half just by changing the percentage of the formula. How can the city actually do more roads? That money has to come from the state. I met with Senator Sue Shink. We talked about next year's budget. We talked about getting some financing for secondary roads. Governor Whitmer has been doing a great job with primary roads throughout the state, but that mainly benefits counties. It benefits the roads, the arteries, main arteries going outside the cities. She's done a great job on the highways, but she hasn't done anything for the urban areas, for the streets.
All right, besides roads, what about public safety?
There's a lot of contention around that issue, but Jackson has actually seen a drop in crime. We've actually seen a drop in murders, serious crimes. Ann Arbor had like 11 homicides in 3 months, like from June to the current, to the end of the summer. And Jackson has only had 3 all year. So I think relative to other communities, we're doing quite well. I have a lot of faith in the police chief. I think Elmer's been doing a good job. We have an intervention program that seems to be helping. I'm not sure there's hard data showing that it's helping, but it seems to be doing some good. So that.
Are you aligned with any other candidates for council or mayor?
I'm not aligned with anyone else particularly. I mean, city council races are nonpartisan. I mean, my background is a Democrat, but I work well across the aisle with the Republicans. I've been going down to county commissioner meetings forever and, working with those people on issues. So I have no problem working across the aisle.
Water assessments, you were in your materials want to lower water rates. How would you pay for the water service?
Well, we have 3 upcoming increases projected in water rates. I'd like to eliminate those. We have a problem. We had not had a sufficient investment in our water plant or in our wastewater treatment plant. And so that requires some capital, and we've been making those investments. The biggest thing was that Eagle required replacement of all the lead service lines, and that was an unfunded mandate from the state. So that really hit the city hard. That's millions of dollars. But then Consumers Energy, in an effort to pay that, the city decided to reduce their tiered program of how they charge, and that affected Consumers Energy, and so they pulled out of the city and went to Eagle to get their own wells. I'm currently in circuit court here in Jackson, in 4th District, trying to force Eagle to rescind those permits and to force Consumers Energy back into the city water system. If that occurred, none of those increases that are projected for this year, next year, and the year after would be necessary. So that's how I personally hope to reduce water rates for the citizens.
Tell us a little bit about your personal background, your profession, your life outside of politics.
Well, I'm now retired, so I'm living on my Social Security. So I fit in really well with a lot of people on the East Side. Before that, I taught at various levels at various colleges and universities. And I really originally wanted to be a writer, so I did what most writers do, and that's I had every job in the book, because that's how writers survive unless you actually make it. And I never was lucky enough to, to get a hit book or anything.
Yeah.
I've written a novel. I self-published it. I wrote a children's book, illustrated, self-published that, and I have 3 volumes of poetry that I published. So that was a lot of my focus in my life.
I think a lot of people have seen you. You've attended many city council meetings and spoke during public comments. What else besides that are you involved in terms of community?
Well, a lot of my community involvement, I don't just attend city council meetings. I attend the Environmental Commission meetings. I attend the MLK CIA meetings. I go out to Summit Township, currently involved trying to stop the asphalt plant out there. So I generally have taken on environmental issues in our community and pursued those issues through the courts, through the public comment process before state agencies, and then through the courts to try to make sure that our environment here in the city and in Jackson County are healthy and, protected.
Do you like the fact that the city has established an environmental commission?
I originally was opposed to it, but I have seen the Environmental Commission start to do some good work in certain areas. I don't agree with their proposal that they put forward for a single hauler. They're simply recycling the old Derek Dobie's proposal and doing it under the guise of it being an environmental issue. And I oppose the creation of a monopoly here in the city for our waste hauling.
Yeah, and that's come up because it's an issue of the past that, according to the mayor, is not something the council is currently or has recently or will continue in the future to consider. That it's
Mayor Mahoney, after the last city council meeting, I was talking to him outside on the street, outside City Hall, and he said, well, it's going to come up after the election. So I think the issue will be raised depending on who the voters actually send to council. I think that's the issue,
Yeah. It came up before.
Yes.
And was overwhelmingly unpopular.
At that time, most certainly. Actually, there was a referendum, and when the city was faced with the fact that the people had actually successfully petitioned for a referendum, they stepped back and they dropped the idea.
We have a couple minutes left. Anything that you want to tell the voters why perhaps they should elect you, or any closing comments?
Well, I'd want to say that the voters should elect me because I've been involved for the last 10 years in local politics by going to city council meetings, going to county commissioner meetings. I know all the people running the departments. I know all the people who are now currently elected in office or the administrators. I have a good reputation with them. They know that I come before them and I speak not for my own self-interest, but behalf of the people. And we need more people who do that, who get up there and do their best for the citizens of Jackson without hidden agendas, and I think that's really, really important. And I hope the people will elect me because Freddie Dancy has just done a terrible job.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Bart. Appreciate it. Have a good, happy Halloween with
Happy
the
Halloween.
grandchildren.
Thanks for coming in.
How many do you have?
3.
All right.
All in costume tonight.
All right.
I don't know. I'm going to be surprised.
Oh, they didn't tell Grandpa what they're going to
It's
be?
the big part of it. It's got to be a secret.
All right.
Campaigning for Jackson City Council Award 2, Peter Bormuth. Well, that's it. We've run out of time. Thanks to Peter and everyone joining us here today. We have lined up for tomorrow morning Dr. Stanley Sazinski and Dr. Muhammad Al